My beloved child, draw near, and let your heart become still within my gentle call, for I know that over the past years you have carried within you too many unanswered questions. I know there were people who once stepped into your life with warm promises, with care that seemed lasting, with moments that made you believe you had finally found a safe place. You opened your heart, you gave your sincerity. You stood when everything began to change. You tried to understand, tried to be patient, tried to find in their cold silences a reason to keep hoping. Many times you told yourself that perhaps they were tired, perhaps they were wounded, perhaps you needed to be patient, just a little longer, but my child, I saw every drop of pain you hid behind that kindness. I saw you trying to hold a connection with both hands, while the other person had already let go in their heart long ago. I saw you blaming yourself for loving deeply, for trusting truly, for wanting something beautiful to survive. Today, I do not come to shame you for having loved. I come to teach you to love with wisdom, so you may understand that a tender heart should not be placed beneath the feet of those who do not know how to cherish it. There are encounters that are only permitted to last for a season, and when that season closes, you do not need to call every departure a disaster. Sometimes separation is not a punishment, but my hand gently removing from you a weight you did not realize you had carried for too long. Some people come to teach you the difference between closeness and true attachment. Some come to reveal to you that you have given too much to places with no foundation. Some leave so that the emptiness they create can become space for me to heal, shape, and prepare you for something pure. Do not fear the turns I allow to happen. Not everyone who disappears from your life is something you have lost. Sometimes, what leaves you is exactly what I do not want to continue dimming the light within you. Sometimes, their silence is the answer you had been praying for, only it came in a form you had not yet learned to understand. Still, I also want you to have clearer eyes, because not every closeness comes from a pure heart. There are people who love the feeling of being near you more than they truly love you. They like the peace you bring. They like your listening heart. They like your gentleness. They like the light within you. They like the wisdom I have sown into you through many seasons of tears. But they do not want to learn how to preserve those things with respect. They come as someone seeking shelter, yet they have no intention of building a peaceful home with you. They receive your care as though it were something obvious, but they leave you alone when you need to be upheld. They may speak sweet words. They may praise you. They may make you feel special for a moment. But if there is no integrity within them, those beautiful words are only like a passing fragrance that fades away, not enough to cover the emptiness in the way they treat you. You have wondered why someone could once come so close, then become distant, as though they had never known you. I hear that question. I also hear the part you dare not say aloud. Did I do something wrong? Was I not good enough? Did I not love enough? My child, not every coldness from another person is a verdict against you. There are people who only know how to receive, but do not know how to respond, who only come close when they need soothing and withdraw when the responsibility of sincerity appears. There are hearts that have not yet learned maturity, so they enter another person's life like passers-by, leaving chaotic footprints behind before moving on without looking back. Do not turn their inability to love into evidence that you are unworthy of love. Do not let their dryness make you doubt the spring I placed within you. You may have loved truly, but true love is not always received by those who have grown used to living halfway. I want you to understand that holy boundaries are not hardness of heart. Forgiveness does not mean keeping the door forever open for someone to enter and wound you again. Mercy is not a rug for others to trample on and call it endurance. Gentleness is not remaining silent before everything that breaks you. There are people who carry great chaos within them, and instead of bringing that disorder before me to be healed, they pour it onto you, hoping you will become the place that absorbs the storms they have not yet faced. But, my beloved, you were not created to be a container for anyone's manipulation, instability, anger, or games of pulling you close and pushing you away. You are not an altar for their unrest. You are my beloved child, the one in whom I have placed light to live in peace, not to be drained by constantly trying to save people who do not want to be transformed. Remember Abraham and Lot. There was a time when they walked the same road together, carrying their people and possessions, sharing a journey I was guiding. But then the land no longer had enough room for them both. Conflict began to rise among the herdsmen, and if they had forced themselves to remain together, peace would have been harmed. Abraham did not hold on to Lot out of fear, nor did he turn the separation into war. He let Lot choose his path, while he continued to trust in me. And it was after that separation took place that I enlarged Abraham's vision and showed him the promised land spread out before his eyes. Do you see, my beloved? There are things I only reveal after you are willing to release what is no longer appointed to walk with you. There are visions that only open when your heart is no longer being dragged down by connections full of conflict. There are promises that only become clear after you stop trying to hold on to someone who has chosen a different direction. So, when I teach you to let go, do not think I am taking love away from you. I am protecting your ability to love from being distorted. I am keeping your heart from becoming bitter after being used for too long. I am saving you from the habit of seeing pain as proof of loyalty. You can love someone and still need to step back. You can forgive and still not return to them the right to hurt you. You can wish them good without continuing to stand in the middle of a storm they refuse to leave. Maturity is not always staying. Sometimes maturity is knowing how to bow your head in peace, entrust them to me, and continue walking on the path I am opening. I do not want the light within you to be wasted in places that only consume but do not appreciate. I do not want your gentleness to become a heavy garment because you are afraid of disappointing others. I do not want you to call exhaustion sacrifice, being disregarded humility, or clinging love. Let me realign the way you see yourself. You do not need to become cold in order to be safe. You only need to become wise. You do not need to close your heart so it will not be hurt. You only need to learn to give it according to my leading. You do not need to suspect everyone. You only need to know that not everyone who smiles at you has the right to enter the deepest place of your life. From today on, let me teach you to love without losing your peace, to give without destroying yourself, to forgive without erasing wisdom, to open your heart while still guarding what precious things I have placed within you. Those who are truly sent by me will not only be captivated by the light within you, they will respect the source of that light. They will not only seek you when they need comfort, they will also know how to stand with you in truth. They will not make you beg for clarity, will not feed you with promises, and then starve you with silence, will not make you feel like you are too much simply because you love sincerely. Trust that what I am preparing for you will not require you to bury your dignity in order to remain within it. Rest in me, my child. If someone has left, let them go in my hands. If someone has hurt you, Bring that wound near to me. Do not turn it into a wall that imprisons you. If you have given too much, I can still restore the parts you thought were lost. I will wash the weariness from your heart, renew the purity within you, and teach you to look at people with compassion without losing discernment. You have not been abandoned because a relationship has closed. You are being led into a wider space, where my peace has room to grow, where my voice is clearer than the voices of people, where your heart is guarded in truth. Keep walking, my child, gently yet firmly, tenderly yet not weakly, lovingly yet without losing yourself. I am with you, and under my hand no season of separation is ever wasted. My beloved child, let my words touch the deepest place within you, with the tenderness of a father who does not come to condemn, but to pull you out of the things that have been quietly wearing you down. I have seen you on the days when you smiled before others, while inside you were exhausted from holding on to things that never truly held you. I have seen you place your trust in fragile promises, set your hope on arms that could not last, run after lights that were dazzling yet cold, and then wonder why the closer you moved toward them, the emptier your heart became. You called certain things life, simply because they made you forget your pain for a moment. You called certain fantasies hope, simply because they made you feel there was still something to cling to. But my child, not everything that captivates you has come to heal you. Some things look like springs of water, but when you drink from them, they only make you thirstier. Some voices sound like love, but the more you follow them, the farther you move from the peace I have prepared for you. I know you long to belong. I do not take that lightly. It was I who placed within you the desire to be loved, to be heard, to be seen, to be held by a love that does not change. That longing is not evil, nor is it shameful. But what grieves my heart is when you place a holy desire into the hands of limited things and expect them to do what only I can do. You once thought that if someone chose you, stayed with you, affirmed you, then every empty place in your heart would be filled. You once believed that if you became more successful, more outstanding, more admired, then at last you would feel enough. But then you realized that applause fades very quickly. Admiring eyes turn elsewhere very easily, and today's praise is not enough to warm you tomorrow night. Those things may touch your ears, they may make you happy for a moment, but they cannot rebuild what has been broken, cannot heal what you hide, cannot give you enduring life. Hear me with a quiet heart. You are not lacking love. You have only been seeking love in places that cannot give you what you truly need. You have not been forgotten. You have only stood too long before doors that were never assigned to open for you. You are not worthless. You have only allowed people who change with their emotions to decide what I had ordained from eternity. When they were silent, you thought you were not worth hearing. When they left, you thought you were not worth keeping. When they did not choose you, you thought I had rejected you too. But my beloved, their changing is not the final voice over you. Their coldness cannot erase your name from my heart. Their absence does not mean I am absent. I am still closer to you than the breath you are trying to steady. There are things you call reasons to live, but in truth, they are only cords tying you to the fear of loss. There are relationships you call love, but they make you shrink yourself, beg for tenderness, and trade your peace for a little attention. There are dreams you thought were destiny, but the more you pursued them, the more you lost the purity I placed within you in the beginning. I am not telling you to reject joy, nor am I telling you to turn your back on every dream. I am teaching you to distinguish between blessing and chains, between what I give to lift you up, and what only glitters in order to pull you away from me. What is true and comes from me will not make you slowly die in anxiety. What is true will not force you to prove endlessly that you are worthy of love. What is true will not make you lose the tenderness, purity, and noble calling I have sown into your life. Remember the story of the Samaritan woman. At the well, she went to draw water at noon. In the hour when others avoided the heat, perhaps also at the hour when she wanted to avoid the judging eyes of others, she had gone through many broken places and had searched for belonging in places that could not give her soul rest. But I met her not to shame her, but to open before her another spring, a life that does not run dry, a love that does not depend on her past. I did not avoid her story, nor did I allow that story to define her forever. I saw the thirst behind every wrong choice, the pain behind every search, and I called her out of the cycle of lack. My child, I am standing beside the well of your life too. I do not come to point at the cracked jars you have carried. I come to tell you that there is a source of life in me that the world cannot give and cannot take away. Therefore, do not keep drinking from sources that dry you out, and then blame yourself for still being thirsty. Do not rest upon dreams that have rotted within, and then wonder why your heart is not upheld. Do not give the throne of your heart to people who were only called to accompany you for one stretch of the road. They may love you, but they cannot save you. They may encourage you, but they cannot become your foundation. They may stand beside you, but they cannot replace me. When you place people in the position reserved only for me, you will demand from them something they do not have the strength to give, and you will be disappointed, while they too will become weary under that burden. I do not want you to live through days of longing and fear, clinging and hurting, being noticed for a moment, and then feeling utterly alone when all the noise dies down. My beloved, the life I have for you is not a weary existence beneath a glamorous covering. It is abundant life where you can breathe in peace, be loved without paying the price of losing yourself, and walk without constantly begging the world to confirm who you are. I want you to return to what is true. Return to the stillness where you can hear my voice more clearly than the voice of fear. Return to the simplicity where you do not need to decorate your wounds with achievements. Return to my embrace where you are not loved less because you once wandered, not looked down upon because you were once weak, not left behind because you once gave your heart to things that were unworthy. From today on, let me remove from you the addiction to recognition, the hunger for attention, the fear of being replaced, and the habit of seeking value in the distorted mirrors of this world. I will not tear things from your hands harshly. I will teach you to release them with wisdom. I will show you what only shines for a moment and what carries lasting light. I will help you recognize that peace is more precious than noise, purity more precious than prominence, and being in me more precious than being applauded by the crowd while your heart remains cold. What cannot nourish you, I will help you leave. What pulls you away from me, I will gently expose. What I truly have for you, I will preserve until the right season. Come near to me, my child. Do not wait until you are stronger before you return. Do not wait until you understand everything before placing your hand in mine. Do not wait until you have no wounds left before believing that I still want to hold you. It is in this very weariness that I call you. It is in this thirst that I invite you to drink from the water that never runs dry. It is in this empty place that I will fill you with my presence. Everything that glitters will eventually fade. Every cheer will eventually become silent. Every fragile support will eventually shake. But my love for you does not change. Live in me, my child, for only in me will you find true life, true peace, and a love great enough to keep you until the end. My beloved child, let your heart settle like a lake touched gently by the evening breeze, for I am speaking to you, not with thunder that makes you tremble, but with the warmth of a father bending close to his tired child. I know you have passed through long days, when the smile on your lips could not reflect what was quietly heavy inside you. I know there were nights when you lay still while your heart remained restless, wondering how much longer you must try, how much stronger you must become, how perfect you must be before everything stops pressing down upon your shoulders. But my child, I never created you to turn yourself into a pillar carrying everything. I created you to take refuge in me, to learn how to walk in peace, to understand that your worth is not found in the applause of people, nor can it be taken away by their silence, coldness, or misunderstanding. There are seasons when you thought you were losing too much, but in truth, I was removing from your hands the things that had kept you in fear. You clung to recognition like a thirsty person, clinging to an empty cup, but that cup cannot ease the deep thirst within you. You waited for an approving glance, a word of praise, a confirmation, and when it did not come, you wondered what you were still lacking. You placed your tender heart in places that did not know how to cherish it, and when you were hurt, you returned to judge yourself. My child, do not use the indifference of others to measure your dignity. Do not let hands that were never assigned to guard you decide how worthy of love you are. Before anyone knew your name, I knew you. Before anyone saw your ability, I placed within you the mark of life, of hope, of a purpose that cannot be erased by a passing judgment. I do not come to you today to make your heart heavier. I come to call you back. Returning does not mean you must blame yourself for being weary, nor does it mean you must pretend the wound never existed. Returning means placing your hand in mine once again. Returning means no longer chasing doors I have not opened, no longer begging for love from places that only give you insecurity, no longer living as though you must prove you are worthy of staying. You tried to hold what I never told you to hold. You tried to save connections that I was gently separating from your life. You tried to please people whose hearts change with the seasons, while I, the one who loved you from the beginning, still stood there, patient, gentle, and unwilling to leave you. My beloved child, let your heart stop condemning itself for the places that are not yet complete. I do not see you as an unfinished thing forgotten, nor as a story that has lost its direction. You are a work held in my hands, and my hands have never trembled while shaping what I love. There are lines within you that you do not yet understand, cracks that make you ashamed, empty spaces that frighten you. But I see more than what you are seeing. You only see the traces of seasons of hurt. I see the place where grace will overflow. You only see the roads that once exhausted you. I see the evidence of the strength with which I secretly carried you through. You only see the parts that seem broken into pieces. I see material from which to build a deeper beauty, gentler, humbler, and more radiant on the day I complete what I began. Do not be quick to place a full stop at the end of your life, simply because today you cannot see the whole picture. The weaver does not allow an unfinished cloth to be judged while the threads are still tangled on the back. The gardener does not dig up the seed simply because it is still hidden in the soil. The father does not abandon the child learning to walk simply because the child stumbles. how much less would I abandon you simply because you still tremble in your process? There are things I am doing in you that cannot grow under the hurried gaze of the crowd. There are precious things that must be nurtured in the hidden place, where you learn to trust me when no one applauds, learn to wait when there is no clear sign, learn to breathe in peace while everything around you has not yet changed. It is in those seasons that I am causing your roots to go deep, so that when your day comes, you will not be overthrown by the winds of praise and criticism. Recently in this world, you once feared loneliness, as though it were proof that you had been left behind. But my child, not every silence is a desert of loss. Some silences are holy rooms. I prepare to meet you without noise, without the recognition of others, without the roles you have grown used to wearing. When people step back, you think you have lost your support. But it is in that moment that I teach you to place your full weight upon me. When the voices outside grow quiet, you can finally hear me whisper that you belong to me, that you do not need to chase acceptance in order to be called precious, that you do not need to hold on to what is leaving with hands that are already tired. I do not leave you alone to hurt you. I draw you out of dependency, so you may know that my love is unchanging, close enough, deep enough, and enduring enough to keep you through every season. Look again at the story of Elijah when he hid beneath the broom tree, weary to the point that he no longer wanted to continue. He had just passed through great battles, had witnessed my power, and yet he still felt alone, exhausted, and afraid. I did not come to him with harsh rebuke. I did not tell him to immediately stand up and prove his faith. I let him rest, I fed him. I touched his worn-out humanity with very tender care. Then I led him to the holy mountain, not allowing him to seek me in the strong wind, nor in the earthquake, nor in the fierce fire, but in a gentle, quiet whisper. Do you see, my beloved? There are times when what you need first is not to run faster, do more, or endure longer, but to let me nourish again the parts of you that have run dry. I do not see your weariness as failure. I see it as a place where I am permitted to draw near and restore you with my love. Therefore, do not call the season of pruning rejection. When I take something from your hands, it is not always because you have done wrong. Often it is because that thing is no longer pure enough to continue with the calling I have placed upon your life. Do not call delay denial. There are doors I close not to disappoint you, but to keep you from entering places for which you are not yet ready, or places unworthy of what I am building within you. Do not call silence distance. Sometimes I remain silent to teach you to trust more deeply than your feelings, so that you will not only seek me in quick answers, but also learn to remain with me in mystery. I do not act according to your impatience, because I love you too much to give you a good thing at the wrong time. A blessing given in the wrong season can become a burden, but what I give at the right time will lift you up and keep you in peace. Lay down the things you have tried to protect by yourself. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is acknowledging that my hand is wider than your control. Resting is not neglect. Resting is trusting that I am still working, even when you cannot see movement. You do not need to strain yourself to preserve a promise I have spoken. You do not need to rebuild by yourself what I have decided to renew in my way. You do not need to carry on your shoulders' expectations I never placed upon you. Your part today is very simple. Walk in truth. Keep your heart tender. Leave what draws you away from me. Open the door to healing. Speak what needs to be spoken with gentleness, and let me take care of what is beyond your strength. I do not ask you to do my work for me. I only invite you to remain in obedience. while the completion belongs to me. I am bringing you out of a life of having to prove yourself. You are tired from trying to become enough in the eyes of others, strong enough, good enough, lovable enough, useful enough, resilient enough so that no one will be disappointed. But my child, I do not call you into love through an endless test. I do not place you in grace and then make you live like someone always afraid of being cast out. I am teaching you to distinguish between holy responsibility and chains created by fear, between faithfulness and clinging, between true love and losing yourself in order to be kept. The peace I give does not make you shrink in anxiety. The love I give does not force you to beg for scraps of recognition. What comes from me will lead you into freedom, not exhaustion, where you thought only ashes remained. I can still plant a garden where you thought only pain remained. I can still pour out oil of renewal where you thought no one was standing beside you anymore. I will open your eyes to see that I have been there from the beginning. Patient, faithful, and unchanging. The glory ahead is not limited by what you have lost. The things taken away do not have the right to define the future I am preparing. I can make the latter part of your life deeper than the former, not because the past did not hurt, but because my love is greater than everything that wounded you. Rest in me, my beloved child. When you are weak, I do not despise you. When you cry, I do not turn my face away. When you lose your way, I do not erase your name from my heart. I am your Father, the place to which you may return, the one who keeps his word, the craftsman who does not abandon his beloved work unfinished. Let my peace cover you like a cloak in the night. Let my grace soften the places that have grown hardened from enduring for too long. My hand is still working, even in what you do not understand. My heart is still holding you, even when you feel far away. And what I have begun in you, I will complete in beauty, at the right time, in the right way, according to my love that never fails.